This is an image you'll see popping up more often here in Buchanan County. People wearing masks and face coverings like I am tonight. And if you take a look at this signpost that they have, you do see kind of that blanket of snow already over here, and also very icy. Good morning. I'm standing here on Wagner Road, just a few miles down from Euclid Avenue, where you can see behind me barricades set up. This bag may look small, but what's inside can actually feed up to 6 people. And how one concerned citizen I spoke with is reacting to the limited information about Evelyn's autopsy report coming up. If you take a look behind me, this building completely engulfed in smoke, firefighters trying to battle it out. The Pinnacle website lists 48 places to shop, 18 places to eat, 1 movie theater, and 1 trampoline park in its directory. Douglas Lake actually has higher boating traffic, partly because of private property that surrounds the lake. It's something that you just don't see as much over at Watauga in South Holston. How businesses positioned in a border city like Bristol expect to navigate through different reopening tracks in Tennessee and Virginia. Nearby where I'm standing is property which authorities say belonged to a family member of baby EVELYN BOSWELL, and it's also where authorities say they found human remains believed to be her. People now are continuing to drop off toys, balloons, letters, and pictures for EVELYN. And we know that this weekend there's been a little makeshift memorial at a tree not far from the property, but as soon as I got here, I saw all that stuff that people brought in moved over to a shed just a few feet away. Today, I found out that the support for EVELYN, that outpouring of support, is also taking place at churches and chapels through thoughts and prayers. A church sits right across from this growing memorial for baby EVELYN BOSWELL in the Muddy Creek area of Sullivan County. Jeff Harless is pastor.
People have been crying, tears are being shed, and prayers are going to be offered up continually.
Here, Sunday service dedicated a prayer for the child who was at the center of an Amber Alert across Tennessee. Harless says EVELYN had attended the church. So all the pictures that maybe you've seen in the news, that you've seen spread online, you actually got to see that in real life.
Real life. We actually got to know her, and she was a precious little baby, and we got to spend that quality time with her.
For mere strangers, EVELYN's story has touched them too. Haley Blevins and her son Easton are from the Knoxville area.
Of course, I've got a small child, other children, and it's absolutely horrifying, to have something like this happen, even not just in your community, but around it. It's amazing the amount of support and really the whole army that she's had behind her this whole time.
That includes a group of moms who approached this church in Bristol, Virginia. They first organized a vigil to help with the search.
They said that they still wanted to do this because they want to continue praying for her. The community just feels a really strong connection to her and to her family.
While the first case of the coronavirus is here, health officials urge the community to react in a proactive way, like going back to the basics by practicing good hygiene. And also, most importantly, do not panic. The Sullivan County Regional Health Department responding on the first positive case of the coronavirus in Northeast Tennessee.
We're doing contact investigation now, and the patient has been already in self-isolation.
Dr. Stephen May says the patient is improving. He's identified as an elderly man who traveled internationally. But the investigation is still in its early stages. Officials not releasing where abroad he visited or where he lives in Sullivan County.
There is no evidence of any type of community spread. It's just we're announcing the first case in our region.
At this point, May says schools are not at risk.
Messaging becomes even more important, particularly practicing those preventive public health measures we should have been doing all along.
Health officials urge the following tips to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Wash your hands often. Practice social distancing. Try not to touch your face. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you are, stay home. Cover your cough and clean frequently touched objects.
The United States is the hub of the global economy. It was never going to be possible to hermetically seal us off from this outbreak.
Should people be scared?
This is the time for people being rational and calm.
Symptoms of the coronavirus include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Medical professionals believe a large majority of the cases are mild, but it can prove to be serious, especially for those with underlying conditions or weak immune systems. Tonight, Ballad Health also releasing a statement saying that the patient who tested positive for the coronavirus in Sullivan County was never admitted into any of their facilities. Joshua Shiver isn't your average Abingdon high schooler. He's sharing his life story by writing and publishing a book. So would you mind talking about the cover? And your title is simply put, Hope.
In this instance, there was hope that I would become a better person after my psychiatric hospital experience.
Late last year, Joshua attempted to end his life. He says spending 10 days at a psychiatric hospital in Petersburg, Virginia, changed his life for the better.
There is hope, not just for him, but for every child struggling with bullying, wanting to attempt suicide.
According to the CDC, more than 47,000 Americans died by suicide in 2017. That same year, nearly 1.5 million attempted to take their own life. Why is awareness so important?
In the recent years, the trend is going up.
CDC research shows an upward trend nationally and in Virginia. Tennessee also ranks as the 22nd state with the highest average. A Johnson City woman also hopes to help others after losing her son to suicide.
I want his legacy to not be the way that he ended his life, but I want to celebrate him in a way that makes perfect sense.
That's why she's starting a monthly support group for suicide loss survivors.
I hope that at these meetings, when we get together this way, that there can be some laughter, there can be some smiles, and there can be some sharing of those warm stories.
There will also be mental health counselors and resources available for those who attend. Angelique, Arintok, News 5 WCYB.